Hello, a BBG video on a Saturday. I know we're in the Twilight Zone, but we have news that broke within the last 24 to 48 hours. Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema are developing Lord of the Rings movies, or properties within the Lord of the Rings canon, which I have both brilliant feelings and not so brilliant feelings, but we'll talk about that. And a lot of this is rumours and subjection. So the rumour mill is flying, and we'll leave it at that. One thing we can confirm is these films are not going to be reboots and remakes, and a lot of companies don't know what the word reboot means, and it's become synonymous with a sequel rather than its actual definition, but that's a whole different video. Now, I've talked about this in the past, that Rings of Power didn't really adapt the material, it rewrote it. Don't believe the idiots on Twitter that tell you it's truer to Tolkien's works than the Peter Jackson movies. That's nonsense. That's just them defending wanting to get into the actress that plays Galadriel's knickers. But that's, again, a different video. I have thoughts and feelings about this whole situation that just makes my brain both go wee, and I'm excited to what the hell. So, one of my big concerns is, do these films need to be made? Are they necessary? Is any film necessary? And will it end up just being a Disney Star Wars situation where it's just content? But the rumour flying around that Peter Jackson and his team are in the loop on this is very interesting, because Peter Jackson proved himself with the Rings of Power, with the Lord of the Rings. Sorry, not Rings of Power, I apologise. We don't need to put Peter Jackson and Rings of Power in the same sentence. It's like putting oil and water together. He proved himself, and there were naysayers about those films, and they were worried because he was a relatively unknown horror director from New Zealand. And he proved himself with those films, and I think Warner Brothers are, hopefully, backroom meetings and things like this, learning from the mistakes of Rings of Power, from the disastrous marketing campaign, to the appalling writing, to so many other things, and dialogue that literally belongs in a CW show. So I wonder how they're going to do it, and I wonder how they're going to take it. Now, if I was to make these, I would, because they have the rights to The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and the appendices, and I know there's some additional material that the Tolkien estate might allow them to draw from, so that would be very interesting. They do not have the rights to the Unfinished Tales, the Silmarillion, or the Lost Tales, but that's a whole other kettle of fish. I feel, this is my opinion, they could do this brilliantly. As long as Tom Shippey was involved, as long as actual Tolkien experts were involved, and they listened and didn't fire people for saying no. That's ultimately my thing here with this. There are so many characters and so many little moments they could draw from and create something quite magical and big that, there's this wealth of material, use it. The rights are interesting because Amazon have the TV rights, New Line and Warner have the film rights, and that's a whole different video and the rights issues. The Fellowship of Fans did a great cast on the rights things, despite the spamming from a certain moron in the chat, but that's a whole different thing as well. That was yesterday's video. Hello. I wonder how they're going to do this. Like, if I was doing this, I would pull on those characters. Backstory of Gollum. I think that would be a brilliant film in itself. The Gandalf, Saruman would be a brilliant tale to tell. There's this whole Galadriel's life story, or elements of it. Elrond would be an amazing one to do. And I wonder how they will do this, and I wonder what they will create. Because this world is rich and dense and beautiful, and Amazon missed the point of it completely because they reconstructed it. And if the rumours are true, and these may be canon to the Peter Jackson movies, which I hope they are, I mean, Aragorn, great character to have a film about. His backstory is fascinating. There is a lot in there. There are hundreds of characters they could build from, and events, and all of this stuff. They could tell the actual origin of the rings, for example, rather than what Amazon are presenting, which is fallacy. They could create something absolutely amazing and create something that feels big and necessary and feels fluid, and I have hope here. I just hope they bring in the same people that worked on the Peter Jackson movies. That's what they need to do. They need to bring in these people that know what they're talking about, that can put aside their own political beliefs, their own opinions, and just create works set within Middle-earth and its own struggles and its own politics and its own goings-on. No superfan videos, please. Let's not fly influencers out first class to events, please. I look at this with hope, and I know the shills are not going to be happy over these. They're going to have a meltdown. I have a video coming on that one because there is conspiracy flying around that's hilarious. I just wonder how they're going to do it and what they're going to do, because, again, rich world, rich characters, rich moments to draw through that history of the rings. I have hope here, and it's refreshing to see this. And the fact that they're being very tentatively silent. There's no big release, there's no big anything. It's just come out, that's it. And there's no dreaded words. Adapting the material for the modern age, or adapting the material and reflecting modernity. Tolkien hated allegory. He really did. And you don't need to change works. Works are in a fictional universe, and they should reflect that fictional universe brilliantly. So tell me what you think in the comments below. I know this is a quickie video, but I just thought I would get my opinions, my initial reaction out, and tell me what you think as always. Like, subscribe, and do the usual. I will talk to you guys a bit later.